What do you think it might have been like to be in the company of Jesus? Here he is saying that he's going to be killed, suffer greatly, be rejected, and he's telling them, his apostles and disciples, to take up your cross, deny yourself, follow me. What do you think? Do you think it was a depressing company, in the company of Jesus? When he says these somber things, when he's living in poverty, where he's, do you think they joked around? Do you think they had happy times together the 30 years in the company of Jesus? For sure, it would have been a very happy time, and yet it wasn't a worldly thing. It was a time of doing beautiful things, helping people, healing people, telling them wise things, how to live their life. Would have been a very meaningful company to be in the company of Jesus. Yet Jesus is saying these very sober things, very sad things. I'm going to be killed. I'm going to be tortured, mistreated, and then put to death. Deny yourself, take up your cross, and follow me. This is what he did, and they saw it right before their very eyes. The apostles, disciples saw it before their eyes, the model, the ultimate model, perfectly putting into practice what he preached, Jesus, that model of mortification, generosity, self-sacrifice, mortification, and yet great joy, peace in his company, happiness, joy, kind of comfort, no strife, no arguing and fighting, even though the apostles did a little bit of that, but I'm sure it didn't last long, and it wasn't often. This is characterizing our Lenten time. We're right in the beginning, second day in Lent. And they say somberness, even suffering, even some pain or some mourning and grief, it makes us better. I remember the wife of King Henry VIII. She was just put aside by King Henry VIII, and he was being adulterous and finding other wives, but his wife Catherine was a saint, really. She was a third order Franciscan, and she's a blessed now, I think, Blessed Catherine of Aragon. She was from Spain, and she came over and married King Henry VIII, the English king, and he very much mistreated her, treated her horribly, and then eventually put her in a house all by herself. Well, not by herself, but with a few servants, and didn't give her much to live on and all that. But she was talking one time with one of the other government officials and about how she was being treated, and she said, well, I've been treated well and I've been treated badly, but I prefer to be treated badly, because when I'm treated well, it's just, I get my hopes up, and I'm very greatly dejected after I'm in my misery, being treated badly. So he's saying suffering is actually better than the rejoicing that they had in the court. However we take that, sorrow in this life and sadness, blessed are those who mourn, Jesus said, blessed are those who mourn, they will be comforted. And so there's wisdom in that, and we try to capture some of that during this Lenten time. Let's grow in wisdom, take life seriously. It's not all frivolity and silliness, but it's seriousness. We're seriously striving to get to heaven, which will last our happiness forever. But we have to take life seriously to do that. And so somber times help us to be more wise, and we pray for the grace to be wise during this time, to deny ourselves, to embrace that spirit of mortification and selflessness, not selfishness, which indulgence leads us to, denying ourselves to be more generous and charitable to our neighbor and to God, deny ourselves so we don't commit sin and indulge in sin and sinful pleasures, but deny ourselves of those bad things and be more focused on charity and take up our cross, not complaining and not throwing down our crosses, but waking up in the morning, going to work, doing our chores, taking care of people we're supposed to take care of, helping others, instead of throwing down our cross and being lazy and indulging our selfish pleasures, but doing things worthwhile, spending our time well. And that means to take up our cross, because there's crosses every day, everywhere we look. We need to embrace them and do our duties in the midst of the difficulties of it, knowing that God's grace is there, His power and strength is there to help us all the way through our tasks and our duties, and to follow Jesus perfectly, imitating Him perfectly as best we can. He is our ultimate model, Jesus, before our eyes and in our heart and in our working with Jesus.